Cardinals hungry for a return to the college football playoff. They spent a long, hot summer training to gain the road warrior mentality. Notre Dame knows success or failure in hostile settings will define the Fighting Irish season. Tonight, they expect a dominant start in their first ever visit to Louisville. It's a night the Cardinals fans have circled for years. A new coach brings the program fresh energy and restored belief as the rebuilding begins. Will all their sweat and strain pay off instantly with an opening night stunner against number 9? The first ever visit by number 9 Notre Dame to the Louisville Cardinals. They have waited a long time, the fans making this a blackout night. And welcome, Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Maria Taylor will join us. Pumped that you're spending the punctuation mark of a 5-day college football weekend right here with us. They just played my old Kentucky home a minute ago. This horseman next to me is you're pumped up and ready to go.
I'm ready to go. And what a great weekend we've had. I mean, throughout the last 4 days, we've had some upsets. We've had some great individual performances. Some of the transfer quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts, Justin Fields really stepped up. And how prophetic that we have a chance to watch Louisville, new head coach, and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish kind of, as you said, kind of close the door on this opening weekend.
Horse racing terms, it's the chalk against the long shot. Notre Dame off that playoff season, but that humbling loss to Clemson in the semifinals. Worked hard in the offseason to try to close that gap, and Brian Kelly has high expectations for this team. Sometimes they let inferior teams hang around a bit last year. He didn't want to see that happen tonight.
No, I think after the way last season ended, they got to the playoff, but none of the coaches, none of the players are happy with the way the season ended. They're anxious to get back out on the field after the Clemson loss, and Ian Book is now a veteran. You know, last year he took over for Brandon Wimbush. I think a quarterback that has great command of Chip Long's offense. I think he'll make quick decisions. He's got some new weapons to break in with Miles Boykin now moving on. Dexter Williams, both these guys now in the NFL, really led them in receiving and rushing. So it's a new opportunity, kind of a new chapter for them to see where they are in 2019.
He's facing a Louisville defense that had better be a lot better than they were last year. 5 straight games allowing 50-plus. In a lot of respects, this place was a train wreck. Petrino got fired at the end of last season. And in comes Scott Satterfield, who was very successful at Appalachian State. He's already made some changes to the culture, Kirk. We'll see if it pays off tonight.
Well, that's a big part when you take over a program, as you said. Let's be honest, they quit in the second half of the season. When you give up over 50 a game in 5 straight games, something's wrong beyond just X's and O's. And he had to just work on the culture, try to get them to hang out in the facility, just love on them, try to get their confidence back up. And it's a pretty tough test to come out and see how much progress you've made as a new coach when you take on Brian Kelly and a Notre Dame team that has big aspirations this year.
Brian Kelly begins his 30th season as a head coach, his 10th at Notre Dame, and he is with Maria Taylor. Hi, Maria.
All right, Coach, you said that this team should look disciplined and mature in tonight's game. How can that manifest itself when this kickoff happens?
Well, you know, taking care of the football, no stupid penalties, don't give up big plays. And, you know, we've been here before. You know, we've got some young players, certainly. We've lost some really good players, but everybody does in college football. So, but again, you know, control the elements. This is a great crowd here, a lot of emotion, but control emotionally what you can control and eliminate the distractions. We should be fine.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Maria.
Kelly and the Irish always used to taking everybody's best shot when they go on the road. And for Scott Satterfield, it was part of 3 national championships in the FCS at Appalachian State. Been winning Sun Belt conferences in recent years, going to bowl games. Excited to take this team to the field for the first time. Wasn't the first choice. They looked at Jeff Brom, hope he would come back here from Purdue. But boy, it's hard not to be impressed by him.
Very impressed with our meeting with he and his entire staff. Just a refreshing approach in what they're trying to build here, and it's going to take time from where they were to where they're trying to go, but I personally, I don't know if he's first, second, third, fourth choice. I just like what I saw and impressed with the entire building yesterday that we had a chance to visit with.
And Book will get the football momentarily. The Irish won the toss and elected to receive. So Blanton Creaky, the veteran kicker from Louisville, to boot it away. And that Louisville defense looking for immediate improvement. They were gashed, as we said repeatedly last year. Jafar Armstrong, Herman Williams are back deep for the Irish. Long anticipated night in this city that sits 4 hours due south of the Notre Dame campus. In the left 50, boots it to the end zone, and a fair catch is made at the 2-yard line by Armstrong. So here comes Ian Book. Of course, you know that he took over as the starter. Game 4 last year, now as a junior. It was a sobering evening against the Clemson Tigers, and he's tried to build on that.
Absolutely. And the other thing I think we should talk about are the intangibles. More leadership. Last year he was kind of a quiet leader. I think this year he's taking more control. Brian Kelly telling us no matter who he is dealing with, whether it's offensive linemen, receivers, backs, even the defense, he has become a complete team leader, and I think you'll see that pay dividends for the Irish this year.
No more Dexter Williams in the backfield, so the Irish will lean in a rotation. It's Tony Jones Jr. getting the start. Book on play action, steps up and escapes. He's a good runner, and he's got a lot of space. Already bolting into Louisville territory and diving down inside the 40 as they forgot about the quarterback.
Well, C.J. Avery shows blitz to middle linebacker, and one of the things he forgets to do is you'll see linebackers show blitz up the middle. They got to get back and spy. If you don't spy, see how he has his back turned? He's looking for a crossing route, but you have to account for an athletic quarterback. So mental error here for Louisville on the very first play of the season.
And a career-long 37-yard run for Book as they feed Jones, who just muscles straight for about 10 yards. Irish imposing themselves early here. All 5 offensive linemen here began as tackles. Banks, Patterson, Kramer have moved inside. It's a good bunch.
Sure is. Aaron Banks, I think, provides that power. I'm going to see if Chase Claypool's ready to become the guy with Miles Boykin moving on. We'll see a lot of backs. Jafar Armstrong is a running back but can also play receiver. And Fink is outstanding, number 10.
It's a 2-back look, and Armstrong gets the handle, and he's going to bang forward for a first down inside the 25. Louisville's defense doesn't lack individual talent, Kirk, but they just lack cohesion and chemistry and effort at times last year.
Yeah, G.G. Robinson, 94, is a guy that's got to make plays up front. C.J. Avery and Dorian Etheridge, both in the middle, are going to have to make a lot of tackles with the way they build this defense. Russ Yeast, the leader, moves from corner to safety because they play so much man-to-man on the slot. They moved him there to provide leadership, be the quarterback of that secondary.
Irish should move half the field in 3 plays, and now Book flips it underneath to Armstrong, who breaks a tackle and muscles down for a first and goal.
Well, when you have a crosser like this, it requires communication, and a defense that's going to have their head on a swivel. Watch the defense, and nobody accounts for him. You got linebackers dropping, nobody even picks him up, and then you can see the speed from Armstrong as he gets around the corner, and just like that, Notre Dame, after 4 plays, they've already gone 67 yards inside the 10-yard line.
Armstrong running right, lowers his shoulder down inside the 5.
Something to watch tonight. Chris, you touched on it. Louisville struggled in their last 5 games, allowing over 50 points a game, but they were bad versus the run all year. Over 303 yards per game on the ground in conference play. Dead last in the ACC. That's an area they're very concerned about facing Notre Dame. And you can see the domination in the trenches right now for the Irish.
Jameer Smith takes his turn, reaches for the goal line, touchdown Irish, as they take the opening kickoff 75 yards with very little effort.
Yeah, that time there was actually a defender there. He was there, but he got run through. Tavarius Peterson, 29, actually does a good job of getting penetration. He hits him right there, but he's unable to withstand the power as he goes right through him and into the end zone.
I think the nose of the football was across. And so the Irish begin the season in dominant fashion. And Jonathan Doerer, the kicker, who is one of the question marks here this year. He's struggled at times in camp. No problem with that PAT.
6 plays, 75 yards, 5 of the 6 plays on the ground for Brian Kelly. He's got to be excited with the way this thing started. Incredible way for Notre Dame to start the 2019 season on the road against Louisville.
Booted away by Doerer. And at the goal line, stepping in front, Hassan Hall. There was some confusion. Now he's trying to make something of nothing, and the Irish coverage team will swarm him at the 11. So now poor field position for Puma Pass. Out of high school, Notre Dame offered him. Everybody wanted this guy. He was a blue chip player. He obviously was the understudy to Lamar Jackson and inherited the pressure of that role, Kirk. Can he take leaps and bounds this year under the new coaching
Well,
staff?
he's going to have to try. 6'4", 240. Last year he was a starter, but in the second week of the season he was replaced by Malik Cunningham, and it was kind of a back and forth the rest of the year. I think it really affected his confidence and belief in himself, and another player that this new staff had to try to bring back up to try to get himself to believe that he can be the quarterback and leader of this team.
The handoff inside. This offense will look very different than what you were used to seeing under Bobby Petrino, but the offensive line needs a quantum step forward. They gave up 43 sacks. Mekhi Becton is a future NFL player at left tackle. We'll keep an eye on the matchup with him and these great edge rushers for the Irish.
The left side's a strength, right side's a concern. They do have some experience at wide receiver. Look for Fitzpatrick and Dawkins, and also number 1 Tutu Atwell to try to make plays. Atwell, there's a guy that they're undersized. They want to get him the ball in space.
Hawkins got 2 on first down, and now Pass will look for him on the sideline, and it's a nice back shoulder catch made by Seth Dawkins, the veteran of this receiving corps. And look how starved they are for a big play.
They're just happy.
They go crazy.
How about a great effort? Dawkins had strong hands, but I love the placement of the ball on the back shoulder. It gets away from him a little bit. That's a tremendous effort. They might take a peek from the other angle. Right here is a great look at it. I think he got his hand underneath. I think that's a reception. Great effort and a nice throw to get Pass settled into this game.
Tremendous catch.
Big
Exactly
time.
the kind of play they needed to spark. Hawkins picks his way. Center steps, has a first down, and dives to the 45.
Watch this zone play and watch them get the linebackers and the defensive line on skates going this way. Everybody from Notre Dame is going this way, and they're going to try to find a crease right there. Puts his foot in the ground, is able to cut back and get some good yards.
He's a quick guy, obviously, at 182, but also tough, and he runs with a chip on his shoulder, as a lot of undersized backs do.
Trips into the boundary here, up at the top.
Another one to Hawkins, and unable to really get those blocks on the edge, and there's no gain. Here's the Irish defense, and you look at guys like Julian Okwara and Khalid Kareem, Dalen Hayes. That's formidable.
Yeah, they've got some great players in depth up front. The real question is at linebacker. They lose Drew Tranquil and Tavon Coney, 2 leaders. And back end has some experience. Elliott Gilman, both those guys at safety. And Troy Pride takes over for Julian Love into the boundary to be their top corner.
Pass flushed. Escapes. He shows his quickness and his turn to run for a first down to the Notre Dame 43. May have to do a lot of that this year.
He does a really good job of showing you. You got to remember at 6'4", 240, Scott Satterfield prefers a mobile and athletic quarterback to run this system. You know, he wants to run the ball to set up play action. That was my first question: is can Pass be that kind of guy? I said, oh yeah, much better athlete than people realize.
Trying to attract the Irish eyes with Tutu Atwell in motion. Drew White and Owusu knocking Hawkins down for a short loss.
We talked about the battle of the line of scrimmage on the other side favoring Notre Dame. On paper, you would think, of course, that does on this side of the ball as well with some of the gifted players that they have. That's why Louisville's got to do a good job of trying to tire them out, trying to run sideline to sideline and some quick passes.
Play action, and immediately passes flushed, retreating, and just heaves it to the bench. No receiver in the area as Owusu Koromoa came after him. See if they huddle up.
Yeah, the big question is, did he get outside of the tackle box? And I think the answer is yes. And then it's a matter of, did it get across the line of scrimmage? You can see where the tackle box would be right about there. Can he get to the hash? I think he got outside of the tackle box and is clean.
Option look. Pass escapes. Shows his strength as a runner. Finally knocked out inside the 30, but he's twice moved the sticks with his feet.
Boy, this a good job of making a quick decision. Reads the defender. Hayes on the outside, goes outside. Now he just has to avoid the penetration from Kareem. And again, go back to his athletic ability, allowed him to get around 53. And once he did that, because Hayes went quickly to the pitchman, there's nobody in the alley, and he has the speed to pick up the first down there on 3rd and 7.
Yeah, 3rd down runs of 11 and now 13 yards. Now they flip it in the flat, and the catch is made on the edge. It's Marshawn Ford, and ex-halfback. They'll move him around as kind of an H-back. Pretty good blocker, too.
This gives you an idea what Satterfield wants to do with this offense. He is trying to read the outside man. Go ahead and with Pass and what he tries to do. Watch the outside man commit down. He's reading him, and because the corner Pride came down to the quarterback, it's just an option. just pitches it out and gives it. If he stays wide, he runs the football.
Hawkins picks his way to the corner, sprinting inside the 10 of the Cardinals are marching. First and goal.
Boy, they are going back into the boundary with some success. We talked about the mismatch maybe up front, but they're running zone plays, not man-to-man blocking or gap scheme. Just getting those big, talented defensive linemen who slanted into the boundary and just pushing them and relying on the back's vision and experience and explosiveness to find a crease and hit it.
Yards in chunks, 15 there. Sets him up at the 6. Hawkins picks his way, and he will run into a wall of white jerseys.
Now the question is, this has been such an incredible opening drive for Louisville. Can you close the deal? You get inside this 10-yard line against Notre Dame, and that offense, it cannot afford to settle for field goals on a drive like this. They need touchdowns.
Satterfield calls the plays. He's done so for 17 seasons. Big part of the Appalachian State success was this guy calling plays, and we'll talk about the shocker in the big house that he was a part of.
I think you got to roll pass out. You cannot continue to work up the middle. There you go.
Pass is rolling, and he'll roll untouched for the end zone, and Louisville answers.
How's that for an answer?
12 plays, 82 yards. Just when the crowd was thinking, oh no, here we go again.
Right. Showing a little life, fighting back. Something we definitely didn't see from Louisville in the second half of the 2018 season.
Creaky, fourth-year kicker. Very reliable, knocks it through.
Chris, it's the same play they ran earlier. This time it's against man-to-man. So again, the quarterback's reading the defense. He's going to get a block right here, and then you're going to have the quarterback running to the edge. He sees man-to-man and read it with him. What are you going to do? You're going to throw it? No, everybody clears out. There's the alley. Take off and go. Touchdown for the Cardinals.
A great one-headed catch by Dawkins set the table early in the drive, and then the Cardinals on the ground get even at 7 midway first quarter. Nearby Churchill Downs, Notre Dame's 4 horsemen recreated. Those guys are a little overweight for jockeys, but fans get a chance to take some pictures, and the most famous racetrack anywhere is just a short drive away from this football stadium.
Beautiful.
Get you excited about the first week in May already?
Oh man, I can't wait. Love it every year.
Well, the local long shots have answered. They had 4 plays in that touchdown drive, runs of longer than 10 yards. Pass taking it in. Creaky's kick is short and returnable. Moving ahead is Williams, and he's hit hard. That's a pumped up coverage team for Louisville. Tabarius Peterson, backup defensive lineman, covering the kick with speed down there. Now they bring a blitz off the blind side, but Brook has pass tipped at the line and falls to the turf. Brian Brown is the 4th defensive coordinator here. In the last 4 years, he came from Appalachian State with Satterfield. He had good defenses there, by the way.
He sure did. Undersized, but very fast. Chris, you're exactly right. Up front, looked like the nose guard who was slanting that time. Looked like Goldwire might have gotten his 90, might have gotten his hand up there to knock that down. That's one way to try to slow down an accurate passer.
Book lofts it far side and over the head of Chase Claypool. It's hard to do that at 6'5", covered by Chandler Jones. It's third down.
Yeah, but if you saw, Ian Book made that throw. He tried to go high to Claypool, who has great length and great catch radius, but he got pressure. They are coming after him. The defensive coordinator, Brian Brown, who you get a look at right there, dialed it up, and as soon as he released the ball, he felt pressure down low at his knees. I think it affected the accuracy.
Crowd is alive and on their feet.
I don't think this stadium has been like this since Lamar Jackson played here.
Cardinals rush 3, drop 8. Book escapes and dives. This time does not have first down yardage. He's short of the 30, so mixing the coverages in that series.
Yeah, they've been showing a lot of pressure. The first 2 on this series was in his face, coming after him, and gives you an idea what Brian Brown likes to do. He likes to try to confuse quarterbacks. You're thinking pressure. They showed it, and they dropped. And I think Ian Book caught off a little bit off guard, and they didn't have an opportunity to convert, and he had to try to pick it up with his feet.
Jay Bramlett is a freshman from Tuscaloosa, kicking a question mark, punting and place kicking for the Irish. Little shaky in the spring, and the first time for Bramlett. He gets a pretty good boot away. And a fair catch made at the 25-yard line by Jay Burns, who's one of the best in the country returning punts. You know how rare it was for the Louisville defense to force a 3-and-out? Hit 3, last 4 games combined?
Last 4 games last year, and already 1 this year.
Pass retreats and fires into the bench. Penetration quickly by the pass rush. Maria?
Well, Chris, we've already seen Jawon Pass with 1 touchdown rush, and I talked to Quincy Avery, who's been his quarterback's coach since high school, and he said the biggest difference his coaching staff has made is it's refreshed him. He has a new confidence, and quarterback's coach Frank Pons said when he looked at Jawon Pass in the locker room, it's the first time in his eyes he felt like he was ready to go out and play football, and he's smiling on the sidelines, talking to his teammates. His entire demeanor has changed from a season ago, I'm told.
I also think not running Lamar Jackson's offense helps. You know, that's a big shadow to be the next guy.
There's a handoff, and Hawkins is swallowed up. Lamar Jackson, by the way, extremely supportive as Pass struggled last year. Benched against Indiana State and Western Kentucky. And by the end of the year, he was as low as you can get in terms of quarterback confidence. That's what they had to try to rebuild when Satterfield came in. Positive start, but now it's another 3rd and long.
I thought it was interesting for a guy that was so down. They put him intentionally on some of the leadership groups that they really emphasized to try to pull some of that leadership and confidence out of him.
Irish are pressing on the receivers. That's a wrinkle this year. Option look again. And making a cut is Hawkins in the clear. Foot race. Jamian Hawkins finally knocked down inside the Notre Dame 30.
It's a great call on 3rd down, knowing you're going to get man-to-man. You're pitching off of this man right here. Once he makes this pitch to Hawkins, look at the outside, the corner running with the receiver. You don't have to worry about him. It's just making that alley player, the safety, miss, which is exactly what Hawkins does. Outstanding call, knowing what to expect and anticipating it by Scott Satterfield to give Pass a chance there on 3rd and 5.
Hawkins' speed just ran right through the tackle. 44-yard gain. Tutu Atwell end around the Blazer. Maybe the best football player on the team at 153 pounds out of Miami. That's saying something at this level.
I mean, he gets the ball. He's small, but I'll tell you what, if he's in space, you better leverage the football, because that's exactly what Coach Satterfield wants to do, is whether it's a jet sweep or it's a quick throw, they're just trying to create opportunities for him to be able to use his wiggle to get around people. You see how sudden he is. I mean, just blink of an eye. Look at it, 2nd and 1.
High school quarterback, Miami Northwestern, didn't get him nearly enough touches last year, just 24 receptions. Pass, play action, lofting for the end zone. Atwell bobbled it, incomplete. Could have caught it clean for 6, but he couldn't control the football and was over the end line by the time he had it.
Oh, this could not have been executed any better by Pass. In rhythm, perfect throw over the defensive player, and he's just unable to hold on to it. And it's just you know, one of those things. You throw that 10 times, he catches it 9 out of 10. Just took his eye off the ball just for a second.
Atwell, unfortunate for him, because he's their sure-handed guy, and that was a opportunity to make a monster play. Drive alive still, though, at 3rd and 1. It's Atwell in motion. They feed. Oh, Pass keeps it. It takes off. And will score for a 2nd time untouched. For a quarterback who was beaten down, physically abused by the pass rush, as low as you can get, Kirk, what a start for this season opener.
Yeah, but also a great, not just a great start by Pass in these 2 possessions, but a really good job of getting some help from his playmakers. And how about the offensive line in this new system against a very talented Notre Dame defensive line? So the play, everything's working. The play calling, the quarterback play, the skill, the offensive line. If you're a Louisville fan, you got to be fired up. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns.
75-yard drive capped off by a 17-yard run, the 2nd tonight for Pass. And The lefty creaky drives another fair catch made.
Well, this is where you're very lucky to have a quarterback like Ian Book, because this is a hostile environment all of a sudden, and he's got to try to go out and settle this offense down.
Jones has a crease. He shows his running strength for 8 yards on first down. Rajay Burns tackled him.
Remember, that opening drive for Notre Dame was 6 plays, 5 runs, and they just went right down the field, with the exception of 1 pass for some good yards. But they just controlled the line of scrimmage and pretty much did whatever they wanted to do.
Now it's Jones again, makes a cut. He'll have a first down, still spinning and twisting across the 40-yard line.
You could have driven a truck or a bus through that hole. They are opening up, dominating the line of scrimmage, and there's no reason for Notre Dame to feel early in a game like this, as they know with Brian Kelly and Chip Long and Ian Book, just keep doing what they do.
First down, play action. Book took a peek downfield. Now he's trying to buy some time and will just fire it into the bench. Pressured by Dorian Etheridge, the smart leader of that Louisville defense.
You run the ball. That's what Brian Kelly wants to do with Chip Long. Run the ball, and then set up their play action game. But after 2 really good runs, you'd think you get the safeties out of position, but they were anticipating a play action look, and he had nobody open downfield. All he could do was throw it away.
Book, who set the Notre Dame record, 68.2 completion last year, just 1 of 4 right now. On second down, it's Jones hurdling some traffic and makes his own crease and barrels down inside the 45 as the ground game continues to churn away.
Yeah, this power game, you're going to follow Tommy Kramer. Follow Tommy Kramer, the right guard. He's going to come around and just kind of lead the way. When you have big linemen that can move around and just bury defenders, don't forget about setting the edge. He's just going to get underneath of that edge and have a lot of room to run.
Louisville running some fresh guys on the defensive front here. Smith is the back. Book looking to throw and gets it out short. Lawrence Keys, one of the young playmakers that Brian Kelly is eager to see in action for the first time tonight.
Yeah, we keep talking about some of the new playmakers with Miles Boyking moving on, and Komet, the big tight end, who's got to replace Mack. And so you're looking at guys like Keys. We know about Fink and we know about Claypool, but I think Notre Dame fans are anxious to see what 13 can do with that great speed.
Komet and Michael Young both out with collarbone fractures. On second down, Book is pressured. He'll be sacked off the edge. Burns, the former Ohio State Buckeye, came on the blitz.
I'm a little bit surprised with Book. He locked in on Claypool to his left. He's looking here, but he should have been able to work back to his right. Watch him look initially to the left, but look at the right, the tight end, the receivers. Nobody even lined up opposite of Keys in the slot. Just a kind of a, he was so intent on getting the ball into the boundary in a one-on-one matchup that he forgot to look over to his right, where he had open receivers. Even before the snap, you could see it.
There's only 3 guys within 12 yards of the line of scrimmage. Handoff inside, and there's a busted tackle, but Tony Jones is going down the sidelines, and he'll be shoved out at the 10. They may not need to throw the football tonight.
Well, they had 3 down, and they were showing that they're dropping 8. I mean, they were way back. Watch the linemen. They come off the ball. They have nobody to block. I mean, it wasn't 3rd and 20. It was 3rd and 13, and linemen are 10, 15 yards downfield before they got to pick anybody up.
Hit immediately in the backfield. It was good penetration there by G.G. Robinson, that big nose tackle out of Georgia.
I couldn't tell if Ian Book wanted to pull that ball and try to get around the edge. They'll, we talk about Louisville's option game, but Notre Dame also likes to do that with Ian Book, especially when they get down here. He is a run threat with his legs.
Final minute of the first quarter. Jones again turns the corner and barrels in, and the Irish answer right back with their ground game. Blocks from Kramer and Hainsey on the right side.
I think we just heard Brian Kelly on the headset with Chip Long. We are running the rest of the game until they stop it.
Yeah.
Let's run the football.
You like to play poke. Don't switch a winning hand.
10 yards a carry.
Prove they can stop you.
10 yards a carry. Keep running it.
And Dorr ties the game. We've had 4 long touchdown drives, 2 by each team. All of them really using the ground game. Doors boot. He'll push Hassan Hall to the end zone, and with moments hesitation, he'll bring it out. And he is hammered across the 25-yard line. He's going to roll out. He's got some space, but he flips it short, and it's dropped. Tried to get a crossing route there, and it's incomplete. You know, Malik Cunningham was their leading rusher last year, the backup quarterback who's out injured, hurt himself in camp, and he's another electric type ball carrier from the quarterback position. Absolutely. He could play a role in this offense.
He could as the season goes on. I think tonight he might be more of an emergency role. I think Notre Dame trying to make some adjustments with Clark Lee. They're moving in different personnel at linebacker right now. Shane Simon is in the game along with Drew White at linebacker. See if they continue to play a ton of man-to-man the way they have these first two possessions, or they drop the zone.
Quarterback keeper again. Gets a block from Atwell, and an excellent tackle on the edge made by Sean Crawford, who sat out with an Achilles injury last year, part of a very good group of Irish safeties.
Well, they're deep at safety, and Crawford has an ability where you can play corner, you can play nickel, you can play safety, and that time came up in space and made a play that we've not seen tonight yet from that Notre Dame secondary.
Offenses going up and down the field, 14 apiece at the end of one. It'll be 3rd and long to begin the second quarter. Set for quarter two. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Capital One. These teams combining for 260 rushing yards in the first quarter. Louisville was a disaster on 3rd down last year, but made all 3 conversions so far tonight. They need 8.
Well, if I'm Pass, I'm looking back into the boundary in the slot, looking for Dawkins right here.
He's looking instead to the flat, an inaccurate pass in front of Javian Hawkins. So
yeah, you know, they showed blitz, fell out of it, and Lamb was able to get out there. Even if they completed that play didn't have much of a chance at all.
So Mason King, 4th-year punter, is out there. King very often boot him high, forces a lot of fair catches. It's a high boot, but Fink is going to give it a go. And he'll be swarmed under right there. Excellent coverage as the gunner flies down and makes the play. Russ Yeast.
Well, that's how you get down and make a play. Fink has a chance. If you give him room, he can get around you. But Yeast, who starts, we mentioned he was a corner last year, moved to safety, very comfortable making a tackle. Love to see when starters get involved in special teams, and he just outworked the blocker to try to get around him and made the play.
And net 54, 52-yard punt. Lost a couple on the return.
Now Notre Dame's defense has made some adjustments. They were able to get off the field. Let's see if Louisville can do a better job of defending the physicality in the run game.
It's a 1st down throw and a drop in the flat. Karen Williams came out of the backfield and couldn't hang on. So when they've tried to throw on 1st down, it hasn't been successful.
Yeah, I think he just young back who just got his eyes upfield, trying to see where he might want to go before he's able to hold on to the ball. So he goes out. Smith comes in.
And Smith has it, and he hammers straight ahead. I think the forward pass, he put that on the shelf for a while. I mean, they're gaining 10, 12 yards a carry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're going to continue to run, and eventually what they're going to try to do is get Louisville to overcommit. Then they can look for the big play downfield. But for now, they're just looking to use these linemen. That time they had the right guard and the right tackle pull around, and they're such big bodies. Remember, this is an undersized front from Louisville, and these backs are hiding behind those big shoulders of those linemen.
And he's got it running right. And that's one of the better jobs they've done stopping a 1st down run. They were averaging over 9 yards a carry on 1st down, but G.G. Robinson made the tackle.
Chris, watch this play by G.G. Robinson, nose guard, shows you his athletic ability, being able to get off of the block by Jarrett Patterson. Look at that. That's impressive. That's one of the benefits of being undersized, but having quickness, getting off of blocks, and being able to chase down a ball carrier.
Smith again stopped. G.G., the son of Gerald, who played 8 years in the NFL, and he needs to cause havoc. They want him to cause havoc this year
This defense is built by Brian Brown, who's a defensive coordinator here at Louisville. The defensive line is supposed to not just cause havoc, eat up the offensive line. Don't let them, with movement, don't let them get up to the linebackers. The defense is built for the linebackers to make all the plays.
Irish just 1 of 4 on third down, need 8. Book steps up, flushed out, and he'll be tackled. Not able to hang in the pocket, Kirk, and show that presence and make a play. Got run out of there, and Etheridge ran him down.
They did a nice job of this time spying him. Etheridge is right here. Watch him clear and then come back. Now he's in position to be able to take Book down. Earlier in this game, we saw Book take off. Nobody was there. They had their backs to him. This time, great adjustment and awareness by the linebacker Etheridge on third down to realize Book is a threat and to take him away.
This Louisville defense doing an excellent job on third and fourth down tonight. Third, 3 and out by the Irish. That equals the total that Louisville forced in the last 4 games of the season. Did not see that coming. Burns makes the fair catch, and now with 2:49 before halftime. Chop block penalty ruined the last drive. Here's a first down run for Hall, and he's going to be knocked down right at the line.
Now you're Scott Satterfield, and you're looking at that scoreboard, and it's 14-14, 2:30 to go. Notre Dame with a couple timeouts. You're probably thinking there's nothing wrong with working a little clock here and trying to just kind of be okay with it to be 14-14 at half.
I agree. They'll get the football to begin the second half, and I think they'd be thrilled to be even at the break.
He's seeing this right here. It's hard count to show Gilman tip his hand.
Pass keeps it, and he's going to be slammed down. Gilman, the safety, was in the box. The aggressive Hawaiian hard hitter.
I mean, if you're going to recognize it, you don't want to go to a play where he's going to actually hit you and make a play. Gilman showed he was blitzing and still makes the play. They knew he was coming. Boy, Gilman's an aggressive player, veteran guy. Last year became really part of the glue of the Notre Dame defense late in that year.
One of my favorite guys to talk to and to watch play. Comes from a small town, North Shore of Oahu. I just want him to be healthy the entire season because he flies around and he can injure himself.
He and Jalen Elliott give him veteran leadership in the back end of the defense.
Cardinals another third long pass, gave a peek downfield and takes off, and he's going to get nowhere near the marker. Knocked down at the 26. And the Irish say they have the football. Aquara comes out of it. Is it the first turnover?
Well, you know, the young man we were just talking about, Gilman, was the one that got his hand on the football.
They're talking about this. Still have not signaled. Nope.
Well, watch pass change. Oh, boy, they're going to take a peek at that. The only chance he has of that not being a fumble is if his right knee was down.
And there was a clear and immediate recovery made by Gilman there. Ball is knocked out. Looks well out before he hits the ground.
I think it's out. I think Gilman's right. He changed hands with the ball. There's Gilman's left hand ripping at it. I think that ball's out.
And again, this can be fixed by replay because the ball was immediately covered by Notre Dame.
Gilman knocked it loose and recovered it.
The senior from Hawaii, Gilman, makes the forced fumble and then recovers it. And Notre Dame, a chance to reclaim the lead. Ball at the 26-yard line.
You need your veterans to make plays, your leaders to make plays, especially in tight games on the road. Gilman has provided Ian Book with the field position with 1:20 to go here in his first half. Sudden change. See if Book takes maybe a shot, or if they continue to try to run the ball with the way their offensive line is played.
Big cushion for the slot receiver. Claypool's to the right here. One-on-one matchup. And it is a play-action throw. Or is it? Buck loses the football. A scrum as they dive for it at the 25, and the Cardinals have reclaimed it. A monster takeaway. Dorian Etheridge, the veteran on the Louisville side, makes the recovery.
And he actually ran into the back of Brock Wright, his tight end. That's what caused the fumble. I'm surprised to see Ian Book not take off and go to the left. Some reason he cuts back, he runs right into the tight end, and the ball comes out. It's a scrum, and Louisville flying to the football comes up with it. And I cannot say enough what a difference Louisville is from last year to this year. This is a team that flat out quit the last 5 games of the year last year, gave up over 50 a game. And now their backs against the wall here at the end of the first half. In the first game with a new head coach, they come up with a stop here. And, of course, Ian Book helped them with a fumble.
Ryan Brown asked the defense, what do you want your identity to be? And they said mob. He said, what's that? Men over boys. It means we want to grow up, be accountable, be mature. And this group has shown huge. And now another fumble. Notre Dame's got the ball back. Back fumbles. It's Jack Lamb who fell on it. You got to be kidding.
I don't think the snap ever got up to Jawon Pass. You know, it was low, and I don't think he ever secured the football. You see Brian Kelly challenging Ian Book, challenging him to get points here after what happened on that last possession where he fumbled. But yeah, I don't think Pass got the ball though. I don't think it got up to him. Let's see. Well, it's low. He could have been able to hold on to that, but he never grasped it. Notre Dame jumps on top of it.
You're right. Not often as a quarterback do you get an immediate chance to redeem yourself for a fumble. Book has the chance right here from the 20. They have 2 timeouts. Jones is the back. Another keeper. Book trying to redeem himself right now. How about that? They let the quarterback who just bumped into the tight end and kind of self-fumbled carry the ball in the next play.
Right, and we keep telling you that you get used to the backs holding it on that zone read look. Book is athletic enough to be able to keep it, and you're right. How about Brian Kelly and Chip Long? That's the trust you have in a guy that's been there and done that. Even though he makes a mistake, you go right back to him.
First and goal. Jones trying to bounce it, now cut it back into traffic, and he'll be knocked down at the 6.
Still 2 timeouts. No urgency at this point at all for Ian Book.
The Louisville defense has been incredibly impressive, but one more test to try to keep the Irish out of the end zone before halftime. Play action. Book looking for the end zone, lofts it high and way over the head of the tight end, Brock Wright.
Well, that was great coverage by Louisville, staying back and being in position. He tried to really bait him with handing that, showing that handoff here. Watch the secondary do a good job of showing discipline and staying back. Ray J. Burns, nice job of staying with a big tight end. Nobody open, just throws it over top. They've been pressuring him on 3rd down, doing a pretty good job the last few possessions, winning it at the line of scrimmage with quickness.
Jones in motion. Book looked that way. Now he'll keep it. Cut back and score. So a measure of redemption for the Irish quarterback, and they take the lead.
They had done such a good job of spying him since the first play of the game, and this time they clear out and give Book credit. He knew all along that he had that option to take off and run. Nobody accounts for him, and he has the speed to make Louisville's defense pay for it. C.J. Avery late in getting there.
So the back-to-back fumbles, with Notre Dame getting the final takeaway. It's a short 20-yard touchdown drive in 4 plays. And the Irish are going to go to the halftime locker room up by a touchdown.
Huge.
Well, nice ovation from the Louisville crowd. They appreciate the energy and the fight of this underdog team in Satterfield's first game, but it is the Irish going to the locker room with a 7-point lead. And let's hear from Brian Kelly with Maria.
All right, Coach, we saw a fumble turn into a touchdown for Ian Book. What were you coaching him up on the sidelines about?
Well, he's just playing a little tentative. You know, he's just got to relax and be Ian Book. You know, he's thinking a little too much. Just trust his coaching, trust his teaching, and just play. It's the first game. You know, he's got the weight of the world on him, and just got to relax and got to go play. And he'll come back and play better in the second half.
Any other adjustments you want to make in the halftime?
Yeah, we got to contain the football a little bit better. Obviously, we didn't do a very good job, you know, with the speed option, and we made some adjustments there. We're running the ball very well. Clean up some things, obviously, and run support, you know, defensively and tackling. You know, we had obviously a couple of plays offensively that I'd like to get back, but we're running the ball effectively. We're starting to settle down on defense. Let's pick up on that in the second half. We should be in good shape.
All right, thanks, Coach.
We may have a new leader in the clubhouse for a halftime interview walk-off with a coach.
I know he wants to say something to his team, but that was comprehensive analysis from Brian Kelly.
Love it.
21-14, the Irish with a late touchdown, lead by 7 at Louisville. Halftime report coming up. The 9th-ranked Fighting Irish in Notre Dame. And the Louisville Cardinals, the ACC on ESPN. And Notre Dame came in here off a 12-0 regular season, a playoff bid, expecting to dominate Jawon Pass in Louisville. Running game for both teams has been productive. That crazy sequence at the end of the half, back-to-back fumbles, set up Ian Book. He redeemed himself for his own fumble with a touchdown run, and now Louisville gets the football back. And excellent start. They're in the game. They got to halftime, hanging with the Irish. Now, what can they do in the second 30 minutes?
You know, and I think if you would have told Scott Satterfield halftime you're going to be tied now, down 7, I think he's going to be pretty happy with that, considering the team that he's going up against. And now it's about first week. Halftime adjustments. What can you do? What did you learn? And what can you do to get back to where they were in their first couple series when they were kind of moving the ball up and down the field? Since then, they've not had a whole lot of luck against Brian Kelly's defense.
Yeah, both defenses, after getting gashed for huge gains in the first quarter, settled in the second quarter. Door is boot. Will carry to the end zone and be left right there. And flips it back. It's a screen. Atwell almost stumbled, keeps his feet, and finally does dive across the 40. Ball comes out. Is it live? There wasn't a whistle there. Now it's signal Louisville football. It'll move it back, but yet another ball on the ground.
I thought he was down, and then the ball came out. We'll have to see. Knees down. Looks like he's down.
I think they'll take a look at that. Louisville will gain some field position back. Watch the knee. Boom, right there. And it looks like he still has the ball in the right hand.
And I think what Scott Satterfield saw and talked probably to his staff about was getting back to getting the ball on the perimeter where they have speed and in space, mixing up, you know, occasionally in the middle, but also working the edges a little bit more, forcing Notre Dame to try to make plays out there against that speed.
Hawkins picks his way. Quick burst gets him 5 on first down across the 45. Impressed by the run game scheme, or are you disappointed in Notre Dame's run stop ability so far?
Well, a little bit of both. I mean, they're breaking in new linebackers, new leadership when you lose Tranquil and Coney, so you got to be able to replace that. But how can you not be impressed with what Louisville's capable of doing in this new scheme with Satterfield after the way they played late last year?
Patience as Hawkins picks his way, dives for a first down into Notre Dame territory. Maria?
Well, Chris, Coach Satterfield said that it was a tale of 2 quarters in that first half. Offense played great in the first, defense great in the second. And he also said that in order to win this game, they will have to complete some balls downfield. So they might be looking to take some strikes as this game progresses.
It's true, Maria. There hadn't been anything remotely like a downfield strike yet. But the run moves the ball in Irish territory. First down. Quick handoff to Hawkins. Sheds a tackle again. Hawkins is going to be run down from behind by Khalid Kareem, the defensive end, but he still picked up 7.
It's a good job of blocking, although they get away with a hold by Robbie Bell, the right guard. He tackles his man, trying to be able to make a block on a linebacker, Drew White.
Can it be a good block when he tackles the guy? Or?
The left side did a good job of blocking the right guard.
It's good if you get away with it.
The right guard, he got away with one there. He literally tackled, jumped on the back of Drew White, and the umpire did not see it.
It's the kind of first down play that Satterfield would dream about there. They got 7, so it's second and short. Hammered right away. Hassan Hall ran into a wall, got about a yard.
That is a big-time hit. Tagovailoa, Mosa right there, just lowers his shoulder into Hall. Watch this real time here.
In the Hawaiian Islands, they hit physical football because you got Tagovailoa and Gilman, both Hawaiians on this defense, and 2 of the hardest hitters.
285 pounds there.
And a handoff up the middle to Hassan Hall, who's breaking free. And my guy Herb Street called the exact play in our timeout.
Good call, Coach. Use Tutu Atwell's speed as eye candy. Make those linebackers feel that speed, and then you run up the middle with either the quarterback or the running back Hall, just enough to make them hesitate, to give the lineman a chance to get up to him. Showed a little bit of power running through some arm tackles tonight, Hassan Hall.
And Atwell has flashed his speed enough that that defense has to pay attention. You let him have a crease, and it's bye-bye.
Yep.
Good decoy there. Move the sticks to the 24-yard line. Now first down play action pass on the move. Cuts it back. Lost the ball again, and the Irish have it. Coming up with it is Dalen Hayes as Pass is fumbled for a second time. Ogundeji knocked it out of his hands.
Ogundeji right where he needs to be. You know, I thought initially off of this play action look, it looked like he had room to get outside, but a good job of keeping contained. Watch him right here work to get outside and then get his hand on the football. But man, Pass has got to do a better job when he gets out there protecting the football. See how loose it is away from his body, holding it with one hand, gives a defender plenty of an opportunity to knock the ball away, to get the ball back to Ian Book. That was a heck of a drive they had there.
They're going to count on Pass to be a runner a lot more this season in this offense. You know there's going to be ball security drills in practice after his second fumble. Jones cuts it back, shows his strength. Looked like a wide run. He said, wait a minute, I'll make a left turn. Big gain up the middle.
Well, you and I and everybody probably talking at halftime thinking, okay, they're averaging close to 10 yards a carry. I think they're going to probably go back to running the football, trying to dominate that line of scrimmage.
Book again looks to throw on first down. It's a crossing route, and Claypool's got space. And the big fella with those long strides turns back. And it delivers a shot to 3 DBs, and it takes 5 guys to get him down to the 26.
Yeah, Brock Wright, the tight end, clears, which takes a linebacker, and then you'll have Claypool coming underneath. Watch Etheridge, 17. He kind of goes with him. That opens up a nice hole right there in the zone. And then somebody's got to be there. You got to get off the blocks, got to rally to the football. Can't just be on the middle linebacker going with the middle with the tight end.
31-yard gain. Book again looking to throw on first down. Across the middle. Hits his man in stride. Touchdown, Notre Dame. Tommy Tremble, the tight end.
Tommy Tremble getting his hands on the ball. It's more like what you would see from Notre Dame. Too high safety. Weakness is the middle of the field, and that's where they attack. He has to respect the outside receiver. Well-designed plays, just 4 verticals, pick on that safety. If he works to the outside, you go back to the middle where the opening is. If he stays to the inside, you go outside. Good read, easy read for Ian Book, and a touchdown.
And Cole Kmet, the stud tight end, out with a broken collarbone. Guys like Brock Wright and Tremble have to step up, and that's his first career touchdown reception. Jonathan Dorr, he needs reps. He needs reps kicking PATs and field goals. So far, so good.
I know it's a 14-point game, but after what Louisville went through last year, I'm really excited to see how they respond compared to what they did a year ago now, down 14.
Book says that's what the passing game is supposed to look like. You get a crosser, you play action, get the tight end involved.
I think that's what they're expecting most of the night to look like, right?
Taken a while. The running game has been solid throughout. They pick up the pressure, pass rolls and delivers, and Atwell's got it, and he slips down, but it's a first down as they keep the drive alive.
Well, they flushed him. They rushed 4. They got pressure on him, but give Pass credit for his vision downfield, where he's able to find Atwell, who kind of finds that soft space. Watching his quarterback running for his life, he's able to run and find a hole in the back end of the secondary, really between Gilman and the linebacker.
Bogle, ball right up the middle's on the ground. Looks like the Cardinals have got it back, but they are just flirting with turnovers every possession here.
Yeah, and ball never got in to Hawkins. I don't think he ever had his hands on it. I don't know if he wasn't expecting it or if he thought it might be a fake, but ball's
eyes upfield.
Yeah, ball was put on his stomach, and he just did not clamp down on top of it, and he's fortunate to scramble there to be able to pick up the football. It looked like there were 2 or 3 Notre Dame jerseys there right around the ball, just happened to bounce his way. How about that? 5 fumbles today.
was a pretty clean start, and then fumbleitis broke out. Here's a carry to the right side. Secures the football, short gain, and set up a 3rd and 4.
Looking forward to watching the Notre Dame linebackers just grow. We were watching them tonight with Drew White get a chance. Billall's moved from playing that hybrid rover spot last year, now moving over to the other inside linebacker spot. Owusu playing a lot tonight, 6. It's a good-looking group. They just lose so much experience with Tavon Coney and Drew Tranquill moving on.
Yeah, Tranquill's like the pre-snap quarterback of the defense, right? So other guys have to take on that role. Final minute of the 3rd quarter. Pass, gets it out quickly, and the catch is made. Breaking free. It's a 1st down. Huge gain for Marshawn Ford, and he's running down inside the 30.
This is an example of what we just talked about, the linebacker play. We just bragged on Drew White. Now he's going to be matched up man-to-man right here. And this is just about, can you stay with him? Can you get out there quickly enough to be able to make a play? He's there, but just a step behind to give Ford, who Louisville's very high on his upside as a tight end. You can see everybody's playing man-to-man. They have their backs there to Ford. So once he's able to break free from White, Chris, a lot of yards to pick up.
Ex-running back is really more of a receiver than a blocking tight end. Hometown guy. 37-yard gain. The Cardinals threatening.
They're still in this game.
They're in it. They made it into the 4th quarter. Folks up, jumping around, stopping. It's a stadium record, 58,187. A couple of very lean years, lean and lifeless for the most part in this ballpark. But tonight, their team is down 14. They're showing some fight back and threatening.
You score here, it's game on. They put it in the end zone here. Coach Satterfield trying to get the attention of Pass in the offense from the sideline.
1st down run. It's a reverse. Atwell's got it. He can throw it. High school quarterback lost it over the head of Marshawn Ford. He was a 4,000-yard passer at Miami Northwestern.
Oh,
you wondered if they might put in a special play.
They said in our meeting, oh, he can do it all. He can run. He can catch. He can throw. And Chris said, throw. And here it is right here. He looks to the outside. He's got him. Crawford trying to come over. If the ball is thrown lower, obviously the big tight end Ford is able to take care and protect the ball, but just a little bit high. And what a call, an aggressive play call there by Satterfield.
He comes in motion again. They're going to run it back to the boundary side, and heavy traffic, just gaining about a yard there. Gilman stopped him.
The other thing you can do with him is that, you know, we've seen 3 or 4 times where the Notre Dame safeties, they're probably all yelling at each other where one is. They're probably IDing him, and everybody's aware, so sometimes you use him as a jet motion or something to try to freeze the linebacker, freeze the safety. Look at Notre Dame continuing to roll bodies in.
They need 13 on 3rd down. You wonder if they're thinking about 2 plays here. Down a couple touchdowns in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they have to.
Play clock's winding down. They've got a couple timeouts. They get the snap off, and it's a run. And Hawkins is going to gain about 4. It's going to be 4th down and 9.
Down there bringing out the field goal unit.
Maybe not quite enough gained on that play, but I thought that potentially you look at that as a 2-play sequence.
Yeah,
field goal just gets you within 11.
I think there was no hesitation there at all.
Very reliable lefty. This is from 42 yards, and Creaky usually makes these routinely.
Thought you jinxed him.
I was waiting for the shank, but no, he comes through.
I was going to crush you if he missed that.
Not what they were looking for, but Louisville chipping away. 11-point margin. You can see that turnovers were a massive problem near the bottom with -12 last season, and they're sitting at a -2 tonight. Creaky's 44th career field goal did stop the 21-zip run of the Irish.
If we can just get the home crowd to have the same fight as this new Cardinal team, they'd have a heck of a deal here.
Yeah, they continue to trickle out here. I know you got to go to work tomorrow morning, but
well, don't come to the game if you got to go to work or you got to go to school.
Tell them. They used some tempo, Kirk, after the first down, and Louisville was just running 3 defenders off the field when it was snapped. It's a short gain for Jones.
They're just trying to catch Louisville napping, trying to catch him off guard. Nice job by Ray J. Burns, who has a tough job. They call that the card position, that hybrid outside linebacker that's kind of a nickel that at times will blitz, run support like he just did there. Sometimes he plays man-to-man. We see it every week. Teams have that position, and Burns is playing it tonight.
Jones stopped. Burns, a guy who was at Ohio State, transferred back to his hometown. He was second in the Mr. Football voting here in Kentucky.
And he made a nice play again. You know, that is a tough position, like I said, because of the versatility. In Ohio State, he was more of a corner. And even last year here, he was a corner. And that time, he set the edge and came up and forced the back Smith to have to cut back inside.
Under 200 pounds, but you're right, playing tough.
Yeah.
Another third down. They need 7.
Remember to watch book. Got him mirroring.
From the pocket, high throw, catch made. Keys, and the young freshman in his first game out of New Orleans getting involved. A couple of grabs tonight.
Yeah, again, Ian Book just not quite in rhythm tonight, but give the freshman Keys, who's known as a speedster, a lot of credit. Right at the first down mark, going back up in the air and making the play on this ball. He doesn't lead him in there, throws it behind him, but well, I'd be excited if I'm a Notre Dame fan seeing the hands on the young freshman like that.
In the pocket on first down, Book retreating and will heave it out of bounds. Still looking to make a downfield play.
But it
Monte Caban pressured him.
just kind of threw that ball away. The fans obviously upset, wanting intentional grounding. There was a receiver down that sideline, but he did just kind of retreat and just.
We got to have Dave Katak at a clinic on the rules of intentional grounding. That's not intentional grounding. I appreciate their spirit.
Yeah.
Irish not trying to just bleed the clock out. They're aggressive with the passing game, up 11 here. Smith in the flat goes up and gets it, and able to dodge a tackle and dive to the 40 to set up another third down. They'll need about 4. Fourth quarter unfolds. Ask you to give a grade of this Notre Dame offense tonight. They were taking on one of the worst defenses in the country last year, but one that's playing much better tonight. Jones is the back. Play clock at 5. Book flushed again, has room. Will he get there? Yes, dives for a first down near the 36.
So they've been hitting that inside throw, a lot of them on third down, and so there's an awareness now by the defense. So they're looking for this. So what Book does is he says, if you're going to take away, see the eyes of that defender, he's coming into the inside, okay, but I'm going to get to the corner. So he basically just picks on a defender that time, Abdullah, saying, I'm either going to throw the slant if you widen out, or if you take it away, I'll use my speed and pick up another first down on third down.
He's run for 1 touchdown and also extended drives several times with his legs on third down. Fake to Jones. Book looking downfield and fires near sideline. Claypool trying to work his way into open space. Still going. Big fella gets the edge. He'll be knocked down inside the 5.
And I absolutely love this by Claypool. Who's going to be a guy that can make a play in this passing game after the catch? We know about some of the young guys. Here's the guy that's been challenging himself, and the coaches have challenged to become the guy in this receiving core. And instead of just catching it, maybe getting tackled or going out of bounds, he decides he's going to make something happen and goes all the way across to show you what he can do with the ball in his hands after a catch. Beautiful.
Actually retreated, gave up yardage to get the corner, and picked up 34.
He can go for his size.
Smith in the game on 1st and goal. He's got it. Banging, fighting, stop short at the 1. Been an impressive drive for Notre Dame after
Sure
the
has.
field goal by Louisville. They've moved it 11 plays, 74 yards.
And converted 3 third downs, as you mentioned, to keep that clock moving, keep this drive alive. They're about under 8.5 minutes, looking for a touchdown.
Smith again barrels into the end zone, and the Irish pad the lead. Second touchdown for the sophomore.
That's a big time drive, man. That's huge. Louisville not going away, just kind of hanging around just enough. And on the road, you need a drive, mixing up the run with the pass, controlling the line of scrimmage. Good job by Chip Long and mixing up the play calling. And I mentioned it, 3 third downs that they were able to convert on. Huge. Just a great drive. 12 plays and 75 yards and a touchdown.
Claypool, who's been the main receiving target tonight, a 34-yard play to set up the touchdown. All touchdowns, no field goals tonight for this Notre Dame offense, and the lead 18 with 8:15 to play. Kelly's going to turn 58 in October. Figures to go well beyond that. He says it's a difficult, demanding job, and no one has hit their 60th birthday and been on that job in history yet.
Do you think he's ever looked better, though?
Not as great.
I thought he looked great.
Summer vacation in Scotland and Ireland with the family, celebrating his wife's 25th wedding anniversary. I think he's in a good, peaceful place to begin the season. I think he's feeling more peaceful now than he was in the second quarter.
Yeah. I just think the last couple years, it just feels like he's got a different vibe about him.
By the way, building a house, it's 3 houses away from New Rockney's old house. Hall accelerates quickly, takes a shot, stopped at the 24-yard line. Pass rolls and it's incomplete, trying to get the ball to Isaac Martin. This is a big marquee game. So is Clemson. If you wanted to get a ticket for either game, you had to buy season tickets. At Miami, at NC State, and Kentucky, another rival that thumped them. They're on the road for that one.
What'd they win last year?
0 in the ACC.
Right, but overall, 2 games. You think a bowl game after seeing them tonight? I think trying to get the 6 wins. I think you might as well. I don't know.
I think they'd be thrilled with a bowl game.
Of course.
You've seen that much from them?
Yeah, there's a lot to like about this team.
Catch made by Des Fitzpatrick. Haven't been able to involve the junior receiver enough tonight. It contained him well. Oh boy, got to show the flashback. Yikes.
Oh man, we were there.
Oh, this was not last year's game.
Cut inside.
Cut back. No. They're stopped a couple of yards short, and a great quarterback duel between Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson ended with a 6-point victory for Clemson. Look at the different directions those programs have gone since that night.
I would say in all the games you and I have had a chance to call, what is this, our 5th or 6th year, whatever it is, we've called national championships together. We've called Rose Bowls, called some fun games. That game is one of the more memorable games. What a setting in Death Valley. And Lamar Jackson, a week or 2 earlier, what he did here against Florida State's defense built so much hype up for that matchup between Lamar and Deshaun.
And sometimes those hype quarterback duels don't pan out. That one
it sure did.
Definitely did.
Because it looked like Clemson early, and Louisville came back in that second half and got within a possession.
They were number 3 in the country.
Right.
I mean, if he cuts back, if they score, if they pull the upset off that game.
I know.
Remember that Clemson went to the championship game.
Sure did.
Won it. Pass. Navigating his way. It was heavy traffic. Then he escapes and gets about 6 before Drew White stops him.
You were talking yesterday, well, we all were, but you were fascinated with Scott Satterfield, showing you he keeps a notebook from every year that he's called plays. And we were all, of course, asking about 07, 2007, you know, when you guys went up against Michigan in the big house, and he got all excited. He go, hold on a second.
I just wanted one story from him, because it's 12 years ago to the day yesterday. Leaves the room, comes back, this old spiral notebook with a water stain on it. Says, look at this.
He said he keeps them from every year. He found the 07 one and showed us the play chart from that Michigan game.
I mean, this is the page. It's tiny writing, and as they would run the play, Armani Edwards was the quarterback of that team. He's still in the CFL. They scratch it off. The water stain just perfect.
Yes, that's it. That's. It's not like John Gruden with 74 pages. I mean, that's the play call.
We were all saying that belongs in the College Football Hall of Fame. Now, Michigan fans don't want to hear that, but that's one of the. They were FCS at the time. That's one of the
it's right up there with
humongous upsets in the history of the sport.
Right up there with Georgia State beating Tennessee.
Pass is going to be swarmed, and finally Dalen Hayes, the senior defensive end, traps the quarterback. I'll take you back to this game again 12 years ago yesterday. About a minute and a half to go. Mountaineers drove 69 yards. Set up the field goal. Wolverines driving down, attempt a field goal here. Blocked by Corey Lynch.
Wow.
And Coach Jerry Moore ridden off the field. He's actually here tonight, 80 years old, on the sidelines, supporting his former assistant Satterfield. That is very cool.
Very cool.
Across the middle, Atwell, and once again targeted, but just off his fingertips. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
You know, and from that point on, everybody that had to play App State in a non-conference game was like, who are they going to get next?
Well, they got the Wolverines, and you're right. They
came close.
They've been dangerous since they've come up to the FBS.
Tennessee, yeah, they played a lot of teams.
Took the ball to overtime. They battled Penn State hard.
In Happy Valley.
Yep. Irish defense backpedaling way back. They'll concede a run like this to Pass, although he spins down inside the 35 and makes it 4th and about 6.
He continues to show a lot of fight tonight. He's had to do a lot. Scrambling, obviously throwing, running the football tonight. He's got 15 carries now, up to 82 yards rushing.
Pass flushed, looking downfield. Can he escape? No. Throw the ball away. That has the look of intentional grounding as Julian Okwara had him. He was in the pocket. Ball did not get near the line of scrimmage, and there wasn't a receiver there. Yeah, it is going to be intentional grounding. That's what they rule. Didn't matter. Notre Dame will take over, up 18. 3:37 to play.
On downs. 1st down, Notre Dame. Timeout.
So, Brian Kelly's team about 3.5 away from heading home at 1-0. Here's a 1st down carry by Sibo Flemister running to the left, and fresh legs. Picks up about 7. Next up for the Irish will be New Mexico. Ex-Notre Dame head coach Bob Davie. Thankfully, he's okay.
Yeah.
He was taken to the hospital after the Lobos' last game with chest pains, but told he's been released. Then the game that everybody's been talking about, Georgia. It's one of the toughest tickets in all of college football. They got to go at Michigan and then at Stanford late.
Well, I mean, you got all these games. Boston College always a fun game when Notre Dame and BC play, but yeah, at Georgia, at Michigan, at Stanford. And they'll have to continue to develop their passing game to have a chance to win on the road in those 3 venues.
In addition, 7 Notre Dame opponents have extra time to prepare before they play Notre Dame. And that's something that Brian Kelly is keenly aware of. You know, this is a 2-bye season in college football. Only happens about once every 7 years. So Irish use their buys before Georgia and before Michigan. They use them well,
which is good. Yeah. I just would like to say 35-17, 2:30 to go. They got pushed a little bit more than they probably anticipated. Maybe it's 14-14 into the first quarter. Looked like it'd be 14 all at half, and then they caught a break and scored before they have to go up 7. But they got challenged here. Brian Kelly, I think he really minds that, because you can go back, as we talked earlier, and learn from the mistakes. Their defense made some incredible adjustments against Pass and this offense of Louisville's, and really settled in and played much better after the first 2 possessions of the game.
Work the play clock down on 3rd and 3. Flemister is going to be hit behind the line and dropped. Tavarius Peterson grabbed him. So the Irish have the punt team on the field. 4th and 5 at the +41. Will disappoint some of their fans, but an 18-point victory on the road after a spirited start by Louisville. Remember, this game was 14 apiece, and Notre Dame really took control of a series of Louisville fumbles, undoing them, and it just a field goal after halftime. It's Tutu Atwell at the 12, and it's a high punt that he will fair catch at the 8-yard line. So, and for Louisville, they can take positives out of an 18-point loss at home because of where they finished up last year. Pass, gets the ball out quickly. And they're going to still fight. Josh Johnson makes the catch. And you actually think you've seen enough from this team, attitude, to put them in the potential bowl picture in the ACC?
Well, I think, you know, they're going to have to win some non-conference games, and they have some tough games coming up. But I've seen enough from Jawon Pass and from the receivers to think that they're going to be able to compete with some teams this year in the ACC.
Again, Eastern and then Western Kentucky here, and then they go to Tallahassee.
You know, I mean,
the Noles hardly look unbeatable.
No, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you look at Eastern, maybe we put their schedule up again. You look at Eastern and Western Kentucky. I mean, if they play the way they're capable, you'd think that they have good chances of winning those games. They have Boston College, at Florida State, Wake Forest on the road. Clemson, you can forget about.
Batted in the air and caught on the carom. Pass catches his own ball, and it'll be dropped right there. Oh, wait a minute. We're going to show the ponies?
Oh, my God, last year.
In the slop. You didn't care how much.
I didn't have the 7. I did not have the 7. I had the super, but I didn't have the 7. I had a try. I had the exacta, but I did not have the 7. You know what happened to the 7 after 22 minutes?
Taken down.
Took him down. Guess what happened after that? I had all the other horses.
So you had to find your tickets. You threw your tickets in the ground.
Because I was mad at the bear because he gave me everything but the 7. So somehow I stumbled back up and I found all the tickets, and I went up there, and turns out you win some money back when you have all those horses up at the top. That's weird. Yeah, I'm not used to that.
I don't know if it was Kataya in the replay booth. Thankfully, in football, we've never seen a 23-minute delay.
Yeah,
come on, are you kidding me?
It felt like an hour.
I bet it did.
And I just thought, oh, they'll move him from 1 to 2. I'm still going to lose. And doggone it if they didn't move him all the way out.
That makes up for a lot of years when things went the other way.
Yeah, 20 years of losing. I didn't even know you were allowed to win, actually.
This will be the final play for Louisville. They had the Irish at 14 apiece. Turnovers, some breakdowns, but a lot of positive signs in game 1 for Scott Satterfield's team. This team did not quit and roll over. They fought for the Irish. Not maybe the clean, dominant performance Kelly had hoped for, but enough.
Yeah, absolutely enough. I think he's able to learn from some mistakes, learn from the things that went well. Both teams will get a chance to clean it up and get ready for week 2.
You enjoy Austin for LSU, Texas next week. We'll see you back a couple of weeks. Maria and Kirk, I'm Chris Fowler. Let's send it right now to Scott Van Pelt in SportsCenter.